in the Senior A Grand Final on SAS College Rugby League night. A big shout out to principal sponsors SAS Sport for their support, Tim Connolly and the team, along with Hayden and Rollett, loyal supporters of the College Rugby League competition. It's going to be St. Paul's to restart us here at Mount Smart Stadium. And straight away, an error. It's put down. Timed by the bench man.
Here we are, Josie.
So scrum to pack down now.
Keep coming, boys. Keep
20
coming.
out from the line. St. Paul's, they threatened at the back end of that first half to register further points. So now we're going to have time off as we debate the correct way to pack down a scrum, it looks like, and time back on. So eventually we get a result. And it is the ball back in play. They go left side now and we'll work the ball forward. Centralised now. Mariner on the ball. Little double pump at the line and brings in Byaby. To the right they come and straighten back up and they're going to go all the way here, I think. Colatau told to play the ball. Set heavy in the middle of the park. Instead he gets swamped by defenders. James Cook straight off that line and they take him down. Move in play on now and it's put down. James Cook say thank you very much, we'll take that. So James Cook now gets to play the ball. There's number 9, Jonathan Pritchard, the captain.
Another drop. Yep.
So this run of knock-ons continues here, and it's a frustrating watch, this match. I feel like there's a whole lot more quality hiding in these two teams, but it's just not showing itself right now with some of these schoolboy errors. I suppose it is schoolboy level after all, so maybe that's not such a bad thing. James Cook now up out of the line and looking to set upon Tawariri, who has been energetic in this game down the left flank. Back to the middle of the park they come now via Colatau, the Otahu Leopard and Auckland Vulcan representative. He's taken 10 out from the line. Mariner is the first receiver, has his big back rower and instead misses him out. Now timing into the back line is Atinga. Atinga hands it off. That's nice rugby league. St. Paul's are in. And in the end, it's a swift backline move here, Troy. I'll get you to talk us through it here, but the key touch coming from Levi Atinga, the fullback, as he joins the line.
As we come into the SAS College Rugby League replay, deciding to shift it to the right edge, went out the back door, summed that up well, went round the outside defender, little back flip, beautiful try, open freeway, in the corner. Thanks very much for coming.
And your try scorer, Nathaniel Kama, plays for the Waitamata Seagulls, and he represented the Auckland Vulcans under 15s this year. We're in the squad for that, we should say. There's Willie Tuaini, lines up the conversion. Strikes
Not a bad strike.
okay off the tee, but it'll be away to the right. So score will remain a 2-score gap. And James Cook, well, they remain in this match, but really need to tidy up that completion rate. I know you've got
Absolutely, there's a number of errors there. Yeah, in the first half, they were past half a dozen by the time I gave up counting. Into this, look, to be fair, you know, we started the second half and it was a comedy fest of errors going both ways, and just on that first completion, that the boys managed to put together for St. Paul's. You know, they score a try off the back of it. So I think this is all going to be about completing the sets as it normally is in wet weather football. And if they do that, that'll certainly take them halfway of getting there.
So James Cook to restart us here. With the lights on. That's mark number 2 now. And that is a huge carry. And he's left Luatua in his wake. Another big contact here now, and Kaz Roberts comes in just to slow that play of the ball down. This time it's Bybee. Come back to the middle of the park. Very, very physical out there now. Sort of threatening to boil over at the back end of the
I
first
think we're
half,
going to see
wasn't it?
two of the big bookends fire up. You know, there's been a wee bit of intent there, especially through the first half, and they're certainly going to make themselves known.
As we see yet another knock on. It was actually a nice thought initially from Dean Mariner. He sort of stuck out of the first tackle and looked to promote that second phase, but their hands betray them once again, and a knock on right on halfway.
Yeah, the ball hasn't really been in the
Take a step back. The middle of the line. The line to the output.
Currently with 19 minutes to go here.
Get in. Ball in.
Sheets by James Cook. Finally got some ball now from the scrum. And this is probably the second touch for them in this half.
Keep coming. You've got to start. 1.
Just about thrown out over the sideline, lost his shirt to boot.
Jeremiah Footy getting out of dummy half and into some work. Now quick to the play the ball is Pritchard. He will go to Roberts. And they'll move it one more out wide, but St. Paul's, they look fairly organised on their line, Troy. They're 25 out from the line now, James Cook. Pritchard is the dummy half. Comes in and finds his starting front rower, in the shape of Zahn Webb, who sort of crab crawls his way to a few extra metres. Roberts gets the kick in behind. It's a tricky one to clean up, but nicely done by St. Paul's, who survived that test with merit marks and now look to work the ball out of their own end.
Well done. Up now. Go to. On the line.
Time to go back and play the ball this time. Of course, the majority of this squad will feed into the premier team for St. Paul's next year. And,
They look like they're in pretty good stead, don't they?
they do. All the fundamental skills there. That's the one thing you notice with St. Paul's, the tackling and the ball carrying technique, and even through to the halves where the kicking game always tends to be fairly uniform across the grades.
We keep our footpaths and public access areas clear at all times.
James Cook more than holding their own against them so far, and there's a penalty. Ball raked loose.
Spectators standing behind our grandstand. Mind your seats, guys. We have to keep that main access clear. Thank
So
you.
the first penalty of the half, and we'll see. Wait for the kick for touch, see if they can't build a wee bit of pressure off this.
So start the set and inside the opposition half.
It's me.
Shout out to the Auckland Rugby League Referees Association for providing our match officials tonight and for all our club games that we stream throughout the year. It's been great working with some of the referees this year, the likes of Simon Taylor and Chris McMillan, Anthony Elliott, all at the leading edge of match officials in the Auckland region. Of course, we have seen two of those guys in particular, Anthony Elliott and Chris McMillan, go on to be part of NRL and New South Wales Rugby League Jersey Flag competitions. Chris McMillan as well, over for the Denver Test mid-year. Kaz Roberts is the dummy half. Looks out, goes left and taking the ground.
Hold here. Hold. Go 3.
Bump it forward via Webb.
Roll away 11. That's your 4. Hold. Go now.
Short side they come, and doing well to reel it in that time was Captain Pritchard.
High school here with their best opportunity in the second half so far. On attack, let's see what they can do.
Oh, nice little bit of
Nice
footwork
little
at the
bit.
line that time by Tiariki, and they'll earn the repeat set there. That's nice work from James Cook.
Looking to get a repeat set here.
A little bit more like it that
Sounds like
time.
an echo. Eh?
Yeah, we can hear TJ Ashford over on the speaker there, keeping the crowd well and truly up to date.
Yeah, we needed to give him a big shout out and make sure you get those people off that footpath, mate. As he said, though, it was a good little completion, their first set. Put a little pressure on the kick, get the drop out.
Winding up
Let's
at
see
the
if they
back
can build up
fence
another
there
6.
was Wallace Vaifale. Quickly stopped, and now they bring the back rower in, Maki Mo. Still driving those legs and chews off a few extra meters. Pritchard is the dummy half, and then he will find his playmaker Green, who then hands it back to the big fella. Webb will centralise there right in front of the Hayden and roll it uprights now. Pritchard looking right, and they get a penalty at the end of it.
Sounds like the big drums have arrived. As the boys are warming up out the back for the big one there, Corey. What's he called there? Penalty?
Penalty and back underway now, and big contact. Put straight to grounders, Vaifale. Pritchard rushes to dummy half, and it's put down. Well, that is so disappointing.
There we go, finally some
Yeah.
words from our spectators. Let's liven it up here, guys.
There it was, back to back. They had a penalty, great opportunity, and you know, your last words really summed it up. Oh dear. You know, just you can imagine what the coach is saying. It's heart-wrenching stuff. Still, St Paul's, you know, they've been down here for a little bit of time, so they won't want to stick around. Let's see what they do with the ball.
Yeah, really important they complete here, Troy. It's a good point you make. They have spent a fair bit of time off the ball, in particular down this end of the park in the second half, as we are now sort of 12 minutes into this second spell here at Mount Smart number 2. Trust you're enjoying the coverage tonight. Our third of 4 grand finals.
Still hotly contested here. Our third grand final for this afternoon.
Penalty as well.
Cheers, come on.
Probably the shoulder charge, the call on that one.
13 minutes left of our Senior A grand final, with St Paul's leading this contest 12 points to nil.
So penalty awarded now as we see St Paul's kick for touch. They gobble up a few metres and start walking back in into James Cook territory.
Right here. Right here. You don't have to chuck it from the spot. Chuck it from out there. You just got to
Massive crowd building up outside, not just over in the seated area there, Corey, still a lot up around the scoreboard end.
Yep, and
A lot of interest in tonight's game.
hearing that drum out the back, you can already start to feel what this final is going to feel like. And for Mount Albert Grammar, Troy, you're probably fairly well placed to say what this would mean to this school. Obviously a former Mags boy yourself, you still have a close affiliation with the school. They're really proud to be in this position, and I think they'll have a big turnout today.
Absolutely. I think headmaster there, Pat Drum, you know, fully supportive of the boys. He'd been to a couple of games this year, and you know, in fact, we're very lucky to have some of the trustees meeting today before they come. They've rearranged the meeting to be here to come and support for the grand final today. And 2 big teams, you know, Kelston, an old foe going back many years, many decades. Just looking forward to a fantastic occasion.
The headgear goes flying off now as St Paul's going to attacking territory here, and a try here would really dent the hopes of James Cook. Now they promote a bit of second phase. St Paul's starting to look a little bit more likely. Having survived that long period, we see it so often, the confidence you get off the back of your defence and then translates to on the ball now as Mariner steps back inside. He's horse-collared and taking the ground 20 out from the line, or 10 I should say. Dummy half now is Tuaini. Brings his fullback Atinga into it. He's been good today. Had some really classy touches, none more so than the most recent try which he set up, chiming into the back line. They get to the quick play of the ball. Williams clears the ruck. It's messy.
Ricochet.
And it's a knock-on.
Clear it. Yeah. Come on.
Yeah, fantastic competition, the SAS College Rugby League. You know, big ups to the ARL being involved and helping deliver this sort of program. You know, way back in the day, you had a one-day event, then you played the grand final. To be able to play week in, week out, culminating in a grand final across many grades, just absolutely fantastic.
And it's particularly, I think, with the midweek format, obviously, it doesn't get in the way of club footy. It's a really good competition, and we really do get to see the stars of tomorrow on display. So many of these players have gone on to launch NRL careers, Test careers, and we'll touch on some of those players as we get into the second match today. But in the meantime, we've got a brilliant Senior A final on our hands here as St. Paul's, you start to get the feeling really starting to take some control on this one, and that's a solid carry forward from Kolatau right in front of the Hayden and roll it uprights. Deception play there from Timo Williams at dummy half. They'll work the short side. Tinga will go close, still driving those legs, and luckily goes to ground there as he was heading quickly for the sideline. It's one out stuff. Mariner, little cheeky kick in behind, and he here dreams of the dramatic regather there. Not going to happen, but I think there's been a James Cook knock on by the look of it in the lead up, and so it will be a St. Paul's ball.
Just having a look at the body language around the James Cook boys, you know, they've been under immense pressure. They were having opportunities down the far end and they were squandered. And in the last few minutes, St. Paul's have come down here and entrenched themselves down inside the 10. And it's going to be a matter of will now. There's going to be a lot of mental at play.
And it can be such a big factor when you do have a couple of sets down in attacking territory. You don't come away with the result. The frustration comes in and maybe start to lose a little bit of self-belief. And this is the biggest set of the game for them now. Just as I say that, Kolatau, he's held up. They do enough to
held up, yep.
Get there and time off as we go back to replay it. But this is a massive, massive set. In context of the season of James Cook, so to hold on and remain in this game as we head into the final 10 minutes now, and that's a really good carry, but they're there in numbers.
Just
right
relentless.
Right up against their line now. They go left edge. Mariner plays short and brings his back rower Latu into it, and Latu won't be stopped. Referee points to the spot, and Makeli Latu off a nice crisp flat ball at the line from Mariner. He goes over, and that could be the try that ends up just extending this gap to a big enough margin where James Cook might not have a chance to get back into this one. Look at the ball here from Mariner. Summed it up beautifully. Plays his back rower in, and then from there...
Had a wee bit of strength to get there too.
Yep. And with his size, even at a 2-on-1 disadvantage, he was always likely. Crashes over down that left flank. And
yeah, and that really has come off the back of, you know, they got a penalty early. They had 2 back-to-back sets. And just, you know, we're talking about the mental part of the game, you know. A little bit of mental fatigue in there, just getting, you know, consistently beaten up.
yep.
And finally, over on that left-hand edge, you know, they went in, the big fella scored as we wait for the kick, and it's waved away. So it's going to be interesting now, the last few moments of this game. Do St. Paul's muscle up and drive this thing home. James Cook come back and, you know, put one on for pride.
And James Cook, if they any chance of sort of giving themselves the shot at the back end here, they need some second phase. They need to throw this footy around. You're not going to beat St. Paul's with structure, are you? Because they've actually been really good in that area of the game. Their defence has been outstanding, and while we've been fairly critical of the handling today, it must be said, St. Paul's College, their defence has been brilliant, and James Cook for the most part as well.
Shallow. Sorry, mate.
Short restart, and they'll regather this one, and
there we go.
there's life in the old dog here. 15 out from the line. James Cook, they'll need to score on this set, you would think. There's a really good carry forward
Penalty.
from Pupali'i. Penalty as well. They get to play the ball here, and they'll be keen to restart things and get it back underway, and they'll do so off the little tap and go. But look at the St. Paul's line. They're up there. There's no gaps in it. They're going to have to do something special here, James Cook. Pritchard will clear the ruck and he'll bring the big fella in, but the line
Fast line
speed is
speed.
suffocating from St. Paul's. Green has to bend
Look at
down
the
to
D.
pick that one up, but this St. Paul's defence, it is relentless. They cart it forward now via
There he
Fali,
is.
and he will score. He will give James Cook just a sniff as we head into the final 5 minutes. I need a quick conversion here and get straight back into it.
We have a look on the SAS replay here.
And a fast stalling run there by
They're all having lots of intent. Having to show a wee bit of strength here too as he went through 1, 2, 3 defenders with enough momentum. Try.
And he just caught Willie Toini, the St. Paul's halfback, just coming across there, and obviously the smaller body not able to get the shoulder in front there and took full advantage. It was really good determination though to keep driving the legs over. Now PJ still is going to attempt the
You
conversion.
want to sink this.
Needs to be pretty snappy on it as well, and
There it is.
the flags go up, so it is a 10-point ball game with less than 5 minutes, and we will try and get an official clock check for you if this one does end up going down to the wire here as James Cook run back to get things going. Unsurprisingly, St. Paul's are in no rush. So 4 minutes on the official match clock, which is almost perfectly in line with ours. And St. Paul's doing everything they can to stall here. There's a discussion going on.
Well, we said they needed to score. They've done just that. They need to do it 2 more times.
Yep, there is no room for a settler set as these dying exchanges approach, and back underway. And unsurprisingly, St. Paul's go deep. It's fielded now and have to get back into it and off the back fence, but met in
Oh,
solid
hello.
contact, and so solid in fact someone's lost their headgear. Pritchard goes wide, but look at the line speed from St. Paul's. So impressive. And that's going to be a knock-on, I think. And that should kill off any chance of a comeback. Well done to James Cook High, though, who have really stuck in the arm wrestle with this St. Paul's side, who despite some awful handling at times have stuck to their processes, have looked really structured, particularly in defence, where they have been very organised and dedicated to their craft. It's going to end up earning this school yet another secondary school title here. Wait for this scrum to be packed down. Just minutes away now from kickoff in the big one. Kelston up against Mount Albert Grammar. If you are just tuning in, waiting to catch that match, welcome to the broadcast. We're in the Senior A
They're holding
final
off.
now as Mariner just steps through a couple. My apologies, that is Timor Williams in fact. He's taken the ground 10 out from the line. Artinga joins in. He's been energetic from the back, and Boston Schaff now with another carry. He's in his second stint on the field. Williams clears the ruck. They straighten things up. James Cook looking to finish this one on a high, although the game is probably now beyond reach for
Just
the
keep-
South Aucklanders. Good defence there. They drive him back and negative yardage that time.
And they drove back into the centre just to go to the edge and managed to be closed down there by James Cook.
Mariner goes very close, and they'll work them now down this left-hand side. Artinga held up. The ball pops out the back. Still fighting, and knock-on is the call. So that'll just about do us here. And post-match, we will bring you some of the post-match presentations as we celebrate the winners of the Senior A competition, and it will be maroon jerseys hoisting that trophy.
And we're down to our final 60 seconds here with St.
As
Paul
the
leading the
final
competition
minute now
with
approaches, and
10.6.
James Cook looked to work this ball forward. And I think for St. Paul's, Troy, this will be a big deal given that they haven't made it through to the decider in the Premier competition. Fell
Yeah,
short
agreed.
in the under-15 final earlier on, so certainly a big match for them, and they'll be relieved to take something away from this Auckland campaign.
Well, the bright side, I guess, to that cloud is an upset St Paul's side will take massive learnings away from this year, and they'll be better for it for next season, 2019.
Yeah, and also better for it at the national tournament in just a couple of weeks' time as well, where they will be keen to make amends now as James Cook now carry the ball out, and this should be the last set of the season in this competition as Joseph Green takes the ball to the line. He's worked hard today, his Green, as his halves partner Tiariki now hoists it, and at the back, nicely claimed, looking straight into the floodlights there.
Great take under the high ball there from the St. Paul's, wouldn't you?
As my echo
There it
repeats
is.
in the background there. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen, St. Paul's College. You are the 2018 Senior A SAS College Rugby League champions. Well done to this proud rugby league school. They defeat James Cook High School today, who fought valiantly but just couldn't match it with them over the 50 minutes. So St. Paul's will take some silverware back to Central Auckland.
Please get our 3 cheers underway and then come over to
And as we see the excitement of
presentation ceremony.
the champions for 2018, certainly, backslapping. In the background there, we can see James College just, coming to terms of being runners-up. And it's always difficult. But one thing, for all boys to take out of this is that not all players get to a grand final. And certainly a fantastic effort by St. Paul's as they now start to shake hands with the teams down there on the field. And the boys will start moving forward to presentations as they get ready for the officials to come down onto the field. Don't go away, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be right back. We're building up for the big one. And I'm sure the teams will be ushered over there very shortly as we get to see the official presentations take place.
And a massive congratulations goes out to St. Paul's College here, winning the Senior A Grand Final, 16 points to 6.
And what a fabulous sight this is to see on screen. Both teams arm in arm at the end of the grand final. This is SAS College Rugby League at its best. And you may not have heard that in the background with the PA as the boys take a knee now and have a quiet prayer amongst themselves. Fantastic end to a fantastic game. Both teams played with a lot of pride today. Teams now slowly gravitating towards the halfway mark to where the officials are for this year's Senior A 2018 Grand Final presentations. So we see Evelyn Brooker, one of the ARL directors, here today, and she'll be making the presentation to the two teams, and we'll see where we can pick up her audio. Sideline with her is Mary Pussey, part of the football development team for ARL.
Okay. Boys, I'd like you to put your hands together for the referee and linesman who did a brilliant job for you. And could you come through, please?
Referees for today's match going through and being presented their medals. Big thank you to Crown Lift Trucks, who are one of the major sponsors of the Auckland Referees Association.
Captain from James Cook to come through and say a few words, please.
Test. Okay. I just want to thank the Lord for this game and also for this day, and particularly to the supporters and also our family, the boys. And congrats to St. Paul's for the win. Yeah. Yes. Shout out to my Taurus boys that came along too.
James Cook, High Captain.
Okay, can I now have the captain from...
And here comes the captain from St. Paul's.
Next up, everyone for coming. Shout out to the devil.
to get St. Paul's.
And there they are, ladies and gentlemen, the champions for 2018, the Senior A. St. Paul's side have been awarded the trophy. And they now acknowledge some of their supporters, some of their fans, some of their schoolmates that have been down here today to watch them in their final. As we get ready for the big match, do not go far away. This is going to be a barnstormer. Mount Albert Grammar up against Kelston High School. I'll leave you with some of the images here, and we'll be back very shortly.